What if everything you've been told about how reality works is running on an outdated operating system? What if the life you're experiencing right now is simply the default setting? Not because that's all you deserve, but because you've never learned to access the admin panel. You've been taught that the world is fixed, that other people determine your worth, that your circumstances are the result of external forces beyond your control. But here's what the evidence is starting to reveal. Reality isn't a prison, it's a permission system. And most people spend their entire lives in the user interface, completely unaware that beneath the surface, there's a master code running everything they experience. They react to life's events, thinking they're victims of chance. But the awakened few understand a revolutionary truth. You're not a character experiencing reality. You're the architect who coded the character into existence. If you're here, it's because something inside you is ready to discover how to write a different script. Before we dive deeper, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. The algorithm has been working against awakening content. But together we can break through the noise and make sure you never miss the wisdom that could completely transform your understanding of who you really are and what you're truly capable of creating. Think about how your smartphone works. When you first turn it on, it runs on factory settings. Default apps, default behaviors, default limitations. Most people never venture into settings. They never realize there's an entire operating system beneath the surface that controls everything. Your consciousness works the same way. Here's what we're discovering through the intersection of neuroscience, quantum physics, and ancient wisdom traditions. Reality isn't something that happens to you. Reality is something you're actively creating through a frequency you're broadcasting 24/7. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your identity, these aren't just internal experiences. They're radio signals transmitting into the quantum field, and the universe is responding to your frequency by delivering matching circumstances. The problem most people face is that they've been running outdated code their entire lives without knowing it. By age 7, you absorbed limiting beliefs from your environment. Your parents said, money is hard to get. The schooling system said, you need to fit into a box. Society said, know your place. And because these messages came from authority figures during your formative years, your subconscious accepted them as truth and hardwired them into your operating system. Now, here's the crucial insight. You're not broken. You're not defective. You're simply running a program that was installed without your conscious consent. And the worst part? You've been so identified with this program that you think it's who you really are. Let me give you a practical example. If your subconscious code says, I'm not worthy of abundance, your brain will literally filter out opportunities for wealth. Someone could hand you a golden ticket, but your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters 11 million bits of sensory data per second down to 40 bits, will delete it. You won't see it. You won't hear it. It won't match your frequency. This isn't mystical. This is how your neurobiology works. The first step to accessing a different reality is to become aware of the code that's running. Most people go through their entire lives never questioning their programming. They achieve their goals, accumulate possessions, climb the ladder, and then they have a moment of awakening where they realize, none of this is bringing me peace. None of this matches the deeper frequency I'm meant to be vibrating. That moment of disillusionment, that's not a curse. That's an invitation. The awakening begins when you start asking, what if my current reality isn't fixed? What if the circumstances I think I can't control are actually reflections of beliefs I can reprogram? What if the limitations I've accepted as permanent are simply lines of code I can rewrite? Here's your first practice. Identify the original installation. This is what we call archaeological consciousness work. You're going to dig beneath your conscious awareness and find the buried programs that are still running in the background. Set aside 20 minutes with a journal. Ask yourself, what are the 3 biggest limiting beliefs I hold about myself? Don't think about this rationally. Let your intuition speak. Common ones include, I'm not smart enough. I don't deserve success. I'm not attractive enough. Love always leaves me. Money requires suffering. I have to prove my worth. Write them down. Don't filter. Don't judge yourself. This is just data. Now, for each belief, ask, where did this come from? Whose voice is this really? Is this actually my truth? Or is this someone else's programming running in my system? When you do this exercise honestly, something remarkable happens. You begin to create separation between your true self and the installed code. You start to realize, I'm not this belief. I'm the awareness observing this belief. This separation is everything. The second practice is what we call the frequency audit. This is where you start to understand that your outer reality is a perfect reflection of your inner frequency. For the next 3 days, I want you to notice, without judgment, what's actually showing up in your life. Not what you want to show up, not what you think should show up. What's actually there? What are you repeatedly attracting? What situations keep finding you? What conversations keep happening? Your outer reality is never random. It's a mirror. It's showing you exactly what frequency you're broadcasting. If you keep attracting drama, your frequency says drama is normal. If you keep attracting scarcity, your frequency says scarcity is real. If you keep attracting inauthentic people, your frequency says I'm inauthentic. It's not punishment. It's not bad luck. It's physics. Write down what you're noticing. Don't judge it. Just observe it. The moment you can observe your reality without emotional charge, you've created the space to change it. The third and most powerful practice is called rewriting the code. This is where you actually begin to reprogram your operating system. You cannot change a belief through willpower or positive thinking. That's like trying to update your computer's operating system by thinking about it. The system will ignore the command because it conflicts with the existing code. Instead, you have to install new code at the subconscious level. And here's how you do it. Every morning, before your conscious mind fully wakes up, spend 5 minutes in what we call the frequency setting state. Your brain is still in theta wave state, the state between sleep and waking. This is when the firewall between conscious and subconscious is permeable. This is when you can install new code. In this state, don't use affirmations like, I am abundant. Your subconscious will reject this because it conflicts with the existing program. Instead, use bridging thoughts, statements that feel true enough for your subconscious to accept them while you're transitioning toward a new reality. For example, I'm becoming someone who naturally attracts opportunities, or I'm learning to see my worth more clearly, or I'm open to believing that my life could be different. These are believable upgrades. Your subconscious won't reject them. And as you repeat them in this theta state, you're literally rewiring the neural pathways that support the old frequency. Do this every morning. Do it consistently. After 30 days, you'll notice something extraordinary. The way you move through the world will shift, not because you've changed anything externally, but because you've changed the frequency you're broadcasting. And when you change your frequency, the universe responds by reconfiguring your circumstances. People will ask you, what's different about you? And you won't be able to put it into words. You'll just know. You've updated your operating system. You're running a new program now. This is why most self-help fails. People try to change their circumstances without changing their frequency. They try to become wealthy without upgrading their beliefs about money. They try to attract love without upgrading their beliefs about self-worth. They try to build confidence without upgrading their beliefs about their capabilities. But circumstances are downstream from frequency. Change your frequency first, and your circumstances have no choice but to reorganize around it. Before we go deeper, I want you to really get this. Your current reality isn't proof of what's possible. It's proof of what you believed was possible yesterday. It's yesterday's thoughts materialized. Today's thoughts are building tomorrow's reality. So the question isn't, why am I stuck? The question is, what frequency am I broadcasting that's creating this reality? And the moment you ask that question with genuine curiosity, instead of self-blame, you've initiated the awakening process. Comment below, what's one limiting belief you're ready to let go of? And if you made it this far, you understand that nothing in your life will change until your internal frequency changes. That's not philosophy, that's physics. Now that you understand that you're running installed code, we need to talk about something even more profound. Beyond your programming, beyond your beliefs, beyond your ego, there exists a source of intelligence that has access to solutions your logical mind could never conceive. We're going to call this your unlimited bandwidth. And most people never tap into it because they don't even know it exists. Here's the truth about your brain. Your conscious mind, the part of you that thinks it's in control, can only process about 40 bits of information per second. Your subconscious mind can process 11 million bits per second. But here's what most people don't realize. There's a third intelligence available to you, and it operates on an entirely different level altogether. This isn't spiritual bypassing. This isn't escapism. Every visionary, every innovator, every person who's created something that didn't exist before, they've accessed this. Steve Jobs talked about it when he said, "Creativity is just connecting things." Mozart said his symphonies came to him complete, fully formed. Einstein said his insights came to him in dreams and sudden moments of insight, not through logical calculation. What they were describing is access to intelligence beyond the bandwidth of their personal conditioning. They'd learned, either intentionally or accidentally, how to quiet the noise of their programming and download information from a deeper source. The fundamental mistake most people make is believing that thinking harder will solve their problems. Your personal mind can only work with what it already knows. It can recombine existing information, but it can't generate anything truly new. If your problem requires a solution that's outside the scope of your current knowledge, your conscious mind will never find it through pure effort. This is why you can work on a problem all day, get nowhere, and then the solution appears the moment you step away from it. You take a shower, and suddenly you see clearly. You go for a walk, and the answer comes. You wake up from a dream with the perfect insight. This isn't coincidence. This is you accessing the unlimited bandwidth. Here's how it works at a neurological level. When your conscious mind finally gives up trying to solve something through brute force, your default mode network activates. This is the network in your brain that activates when you're not focused on anything external. When you stop struggling, your brain makes different connections. It accesses associative networks that your effortful mind never would have found. Ancient wisdom traditions understood this perfectly. Meditation isn't about emptying your mind of all thoughts. That's actually a misunderstanding that prevents most people from practicing effectively. Meditation is about shifting your mental bandwidth from the small, struggling conscious mind to the vast intelligence that's available when you create space. The second point I want you to understand is this: the information you need already exists. You don't need to create the solution to your problem. You need to access it. You need to tune into the frequency where that solution is already broadcasting. Here's your second major practice: the download protocol. This is a structured method for accessing your unlimited bandwidth and downloading solutions that your conscious mind couldn't construct. Step 1. Define the problem with I need to know the first 3 concrete steps to launch my service to my first client is precise. Precision creates a specific frequency. Vagueness creates static. Step 2. Surrender the need to solve it. This is the hardest part for high achievers. You've been taught that you have to force solutions into existence through willpower and effort. That's like holding your smartphone and trying to manually force the download to complete. You can't. The technology does the downloading. You just have to request it and allow it to happen. When you surrender, you're not giving up. You're shifting from effortful struggling to receptive allowing. Say internally, I release the need to figure this out. I trust that the solution is available to me. I'm open to receiving it. Step 3. Calibrate to the bandwidth. Now you need to get yourself into the state where downloads can happen. This isn't mystical. You're literally shifting your brainwave states. You're going to do a 15-minute meditation where you focus only on your breath. Count your breath. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 6. This slows your brain's oscillation and moves you from beta waves, normal thinking, into alpha waves, relaxed awareness. In this state, you're not unconscious. You're hyperconscious. You're in the sweet spot where creativity and insight happen. In this state, revisit your precisely defined problem. Don't force it. Just hold it gently in your awareness. You're not trying to solve it. You're just creating a search query in the quantum field. You're saying, I'm looking for this. I'm open to seeing it. Step 4. The reception phase. This is crucial. After your meditation, stay relaxed for the next 30 minutes. Don't immediately return to work mode. Don't jump back into your normal frequency. Most people miss their downloads because they interrupt the download process by jolting back into their default programming. Instead, move slowly. Maybe journal. Maybe take a walk. Maybe sit quietly. You're in a receptive state, and downloads can still arrive. In fact, many people receive their biggest insights in the 30 minutes after meditation, not during it. This is why you get your best ideas in the shower, in the car, right when you wake up. Your brain is in the right state, and you're holding space for the download to come through. Now here's something that happens when you start using the download protocol consistently. Synchronicities begin to appear. I'm not talking about magical thinking. I'm talking about a real phenomenon. When you're clearly tuned into a specific frequency, when you've defined what you're looking for, your attention naturally goes to relevant information you would have missed before. Suddenly, a book falls into your hands about exactly what you needed to know. Someone mentions a resource in casual conversation. You stumble upon an article that contains the missing piece. This isn't the universe magically manifesting things. This is your brain's reticular activating system doing what it's designed to do. You've set a search query, and now your sensory filters are configured to notice matching information. But it goes deeper than that, because you're also broadcasting a new frequency. You're broadcasting, I'm actively seeking solutions, instead of, this is impossible. And when you're broadcasting that frequency, different opportunities appear because you've changed the signal you're sending out. People with relevant connections suddenly think of you. Doors open that were previously closed. You find yourself in the right place at the right time. This isn't luck, it's resonance. Let me give you a practical example. Let's say you're trying to figure out how to market your service and you feel completely stuck. Your conscious mind keeps cycling through the same tired strategies that aren't working. You do the download protocol. You define the problem precisely. What's an innovative way to reach my ideal customer that feels authentic to me and doesn't require a huge budget? You surrender the need to figure it out. You meditate. You shift into alpha waves. Then, over the next few days, these things happen. Your friend casually mentions a podcast that's in your niche. You never would have paid attention before, but now you do. You listen to an episode and realize the host interviews experts. You think, I could be that expert. Now you have a marketing channel you didn't know existed. At the same time, someone you met years ago randomly reaches out, asking if you're still active in your field. You say yes, and they mention they have a referral network of potential clients. Now you have a direct pipeline to your ideal customer. These aren't miracles. These are synchronicities. They happened because you shifted your frequency. And when you shift your frequency, the universe responds by making different opportunities visible to you. This is why millionaires say opportunity is everywhere, while broke people say there are no opportunities. They're both right. They're just tuned to different frequencies, so they're literally seeing different realities. Here's the last piece I want you to understand. The unlimited bandwidth isn't available only for solving logistical problems. It's available for everything. Want to access deeper creativity? Use the download protocol to tune into creative genius. Want to understand why you keep repeating patterns? Use the download protocol to access the wisdom that understands your shadow. Want to know your true purpose? Use the download protocol to access the intelligence that already knows your potential. The problem with most people's lives isn't that they're incapable. It's that they're operating at about 5% of their available bandwidth. They're trying to solve everything with their conscious mind, their limited perspective, their conditioned programming. Your unlimited bandwidth is always available. It's not waiting for you to become worthy. It's not waiting for you to earn it. It's waiting for you to quiet down enough to access it. So here's what I want you to do. This week, identify one specific problem you've been trying to solve. Define it precisely. Then run it through the download protocol. Do the meditation. Create the space. Surrender the struggle. And notice what happens over the next week. Notice the synchronicities. Notice the ideas that appear. Notice how the solution begins to reveal itself without you having to force it. That's your unlimited bandwidth opening up. That's you accessing a level of intelligence that's always been available to you, but that you've been too busy struggling to access. Comment below. What problem are you ready to download a solution for? And if this is resonating with you, if you're feeling that pull toward accessing something deeper than your current conditioning, make sure you're subscribed and that notifications are on. The next layer goes even deeper. You've now understood two revolutionary concepts. First, that your reality is a reflection of the code you're running, your beliefs, your frequency, your identity. Second, that beyond your personal programming, there's an unlimited bandwidth of intelligence available to you that can solve problems, create opportunities, and guide you toward paths you couldn't have imagined. But here's what happens to most people. They get excited. They understand intellectually. They feel the resonance. And then they go back to their normal life, and within a week, they've slipped back into their old patterns. The programming reasserts itself. The old frequency clicks back in, because understanding something intellectually is not the same as integrating it into your operating system. The real question isn't, do you believe this? The real question is, are you ready to become someone who lives this? Because there's one more layer. Beyond the code you're running and beyond the intelligence you can download, There exists something that most people never discover in their entire lifetime. It's the space behind all code, the observer behind all thoughts, the presence beneath the frequency. Some call it consciousness. Some call it your higher self. Some call it the source. What it actually is doesn't matter as much as what it can do for you. It can completely rewire your relationship with your own potential. But I'm not going to explain it to you, because explaining it intellectually would just add more concepts to your mind, more programming to process. And you've already got enough of that. Instead, what you need to do is experience it. And the gateway to that experience begins the moment you start questioning what you assumed was fixed. The moment you start using the download protocol. The moment you stop accepting the default reality and start asking, what else is possible? Here's what I know. The people who are going to see the biggest transformation, they're the ones who actually implement it, who actually do the practices, who actually test this on their own experience. Because the real proof isn't in my words. The real proof is in your life getting demonstrably better, in opportunities appearing that weren't there before, in your energy shifting, in people around you noticing that something's changed about you. If you're that person, if you're someone who's willing to question your programming, reprogram your frequency, and access the intelligence that's always been available to you, then what you need to do right now is twofold. First, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. The content we're creating isn't mainstream content. The algorithm doesn't naturally promote it because it threatens the systems that profit from people staying in default mode. The only way you're going to see it is if you actively choose to. So subscribe. Second, do the work. Don't just consume this. Apply it. Identify your limiting belief. Do your download protocol. Track what shifts. Come back and comment what you're experiencing. Because the community that's forming here isn't just people who are interested in spiritual concepts. It's people who are actually becoming different versions of themselves. And finally, if this resonates with you, share it with someone you know who's ready. Someone who you can sense is on the edge of their own awakening. Someone who's starting to feel that what they've been told about reality doesn't quite add up. Because the awakening happens one person at a time, but it happens exponentially when people start talking about it openly. The next video is going to take you even deeper. We're going to explore what exists beneath the code, what exists beyond the programming, what exists when you finally quiet down enough to access it. You won't want to miss it. Until then, question everything you've been told is fixed. Test this on your life. Use your unlimited bandwidth. Reprogram your frequency, and notice who you become in the process. See you in the next one.